Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Three Man Weave's Best Bets Saturday show. We are here to take you through the 131 game slate of Division One on Division One action today. It is Valentine's Day. We've got the love for you, for the sport, for the amount of games that are coming today. We're excited to talk about it. I am Jim Root, your host. Spinny Saturday, joined by Matthew Cox and Kai McEwen. We're, like I said, going to dig into as many as we can. We've got 8 big ones on the outline, a couple neutral site games here. Shocking to see at this point in the season, non-conference matchups. Next week brings an even bigger one with Matthew's Dukies taking on number 1 Michigan. So lots to look forward to in the sport. But Matthew, I want to come to you first. Do you have any takeaways from either last night or the week, something that stood out to you that you're taking into your Saturday handicapping?
Yeah, it's the resurrection of Nick Boyd, just all-time FAU Owl legend, and the beating they put down on Michigan State, Wisconsin, a team that is hard to solve, but I think we can sort of explain the unexplainable with the style which they play. Super high variance type team, but are they good, Kai? I don't know. I'm not ready to call them good, but
Oh,
impressive win. So got some
got three
pretty high
top 10
quality,
wins, Matthew.
three of the best wins in college basketball. So. Salute to them, and I certainly wrote them off, and I shouldn't have, and I apologize.
Yeah, Evan Mia, he said Wisconsin for his algorithm, I suppose. He has them as the two of the top 3 wins. I forgot what the third one was, frankly, but they're impressive. That was my takeaway too. My takeaway was, how about the Badgers? Every single year, they just stick around the top of the Big Ten, no matter your opinion in the preseason. So great guard, pretty good coach, pretty good hire.
Yeah, speaking of Evan Miyakai, I thought we were going to see, and I was looking at it right now, Wisconsin really high up in the opponent adjust category, where like Wisconsin plays better against better teams, but they're not even in the top 50 there. Maybe part of that is getting obliterated, curb stomped by BYU and Salt Lake City early in the year. That could have something to do with it. But like they've struggled with, they were down big to Minnesota and had this claw back and scrap to win that game. But hey, they figured it out and they made some shots last night. They started like 9 of 15 from three and just kind of put the deluge on Michigan State, who typically has an awesome 3-point defense. None of us made it up to Loyola to see the St. Louis Billikens steamroller continue rolling. Kai, I know you had a slew bet in our Action Network write-up, so happy to see that one come through. The Bills are awesome. I wish that Stanford Desperation Corner 3 hadn't gone through, and
Yeah.
they were the undefeated story over Miami of Ohio, but hey, they keep rolling as well. Let's get into the outline, fellas. There are a lot of big games today. We tried to keep it to, two bigger teams. Like, for instance, the last game on the outline is Clemson Duke. It's a 13-point spread, but I'm more interested in that than Oklahoma and bubble SEC team X. So sorry, Georgia and Oklahoma, you got bumped for a game between two bigger teams. But we will start with a couple of the headliners. Head to Hilton Coliseum, Hilton Magic in Ames, Matthew, Kansas. Headed to Iowa State. The Jayhawks are rolling right now. Darren Peterson is supposedly good to go. You just never know until you see him out there, but that's what Bill Self tells me. 7-point spread. Iowa State laying a touchdown, coming off a loss at TCU, total of 147. What are your angles on this game?
Yeah, I got up to 8, now it's back to 7.5. I feel like it's going to close like 8, 8.5. I just feel like there's more Iowa State money on the way, and I think you have to at least factor in a, I don't know, 20% chance we get the Darren Peterson, whoa, he's not playing, or whoa, is he going to, like, so I think there's going to be a little bit of a late steam that comes in. I'm going to probably bet Kansas, but I'm waiting. Um, I'd like to get a solid 8, 8.5 here, Kai. I know Iowa State's last 2 games weren't great. I know it's a great spot and all that, but I do think the issues, unless they can really generate a ton of pressure and kind of feed off that crazy crowd, I don't feel like winning by 8 is going to be attainable for just how good KU's been playing too.
Yeah, I respect KU. It is a mega spot, right? Off the weird loss to TCU, KU off the home run win against Zona. I think you get kind of a classic Hilton Magic game here where the Clones just decimate them, so to speak. 10-point, 11-point win. Their defense rocks. Jefferson, I think, is a unique challenge for Kansas. I do think Trey White is a decent option for him, but he's just so good. And I'll take Lipsy over Council. 6 ways to Sunday, 6 ways, 7 ways, 7 days a week, 8 days a week. Jim, I lean the Clones. I do think it's high though. I even at 7, I think it's a touch high. As Matt said, Kansas is playing fantastic even without Peterson, so I'd still be hesitant to lay it.
Yeah, I hope you get a better game from Lipsy. He was bad against TCU. He had like a crucial turnover late. He missed, I can't remember if it was a front end or 2 free throws when they needed him. Really not what you expect from your senior veteran leader there. Kansas, I thought, really rode the momentum from the home crowd against Arizona. I mean, my God, did that fog crowd lift them. I sort of actually lean KU though. It just feels a little too high to me. The way the level they're playing at, that interior defense. Josh Jefferson's shooting 43% inside the arc in league play, and you're going in against Badunga and Tiller, and that kind of concerns me a little bit. He's good off the bounce, but Badunga's pretty mobile. I don't know, Matt. Kansas is kind of they take good care of the ball. They're up there in turnover rate in league play. If you're not getting all those transition opportunities, perhaps they can hang around. It is just a tough handicap because what does Peterson do? They know they've moved him off the ball a lot more, and hopefully that means no 6 of 25 performance from Melvin Council. Like, my God, how did they beat the number one team in the country with that? But it just feels a little high to me, and I'm not going to lay it with Iowa State. Next up, Purdue at Iowa. Here's one I'm going to take the home team. Fellas, give me Iowa +2. They're getting 2 points against the Boilers. Iowa played them very tough at Mackey, and I'm just not terrified of this version of Purdue right now. Not enough athleticism on the court to overwhelm, especially against Iowa, who can struggle against athleticism. Kai, their supporting cast has been terrible. Sturtz has made more field goals on 31 less attempts than his teammates in the last 2 games.
Wow.
That's a problem. I think they correct it. Home action here. The home crowd usually helps role players. I think that's going to be there for Iowa. They get their first real marquee win to top their resume, bounce back from the Maryland loss. Give me Iowa +2, but what do you think?
Yeah, the resume needs it. Another good spot, right? If you're a spot purist, they're off that weird Terps loss. That's a bad loss. And Purdue off the overtime win at Nebraska is huge. I'm excited for Sturtz versus Smith round 2. I wrote down, can Sturtz get some help? Because he has been insane lately and his teammates just haven't held up their end of the bargain. I would be, if we haven't seen these teams play before, Matt, I would be worried about Iowa's interior against Purdue's front line. They really held up pretty well in game 1. And in fact, didn't have a huge disadvantage at all in the rebounding department. Braden Smith, of course, as steady as they come. Iowa does feed off turnovers, but I think McCollum finds a way to take the air out of the ball and gets it done this time. They did lead Purdue by 9 in the second half in game 1. I'm with Jim, leaning towards Iowa.
I agree. I like Iowa. Just think it's a good. You're right. The playing at home is just feels like a cozier spot for Sturtz to get some help, and this Purdue team doesn't have like crazy athletic wings to like bother the supporting cast. Where we kind of saw, Michigan State game comes to mind. I just think it's a more balanced effort from Iowa. Good Saturday home performance, and I'm still pretty skeptical of what Purdue is. Just haven't looked as buttoned up recently. We talked about that at length. I like Iowa as well.
Yes, Iowa's one of my best bets, +2, locking that in. The weird thing with the rebounding, like both teams are going to be so efficient that there won't be that many rebounds.
Yeah.
Like it almost helps Iowa. They don't have to worry about that battle because teams are just going to make shots on both ends. And Iowa shot the lights out at Mackey. That is notable and still didn't win. But I just kind of see that trend shifting a little bit. Purdue's not going to take as many threes as they took at Nebraska, that's for sure. But I just kind of like the vibes of it. And I think Sturtz has a big one. All right. Next up, Gonzaga at Santa Clara. The battle for the WCC, not title, but almost. It's for the lead. The winner of this game will be ahead in the loss column on both St. Mary's and the loser. Looking at Gonzaga -4.5 right now. Interestingly here, Matthew, if you use Bart Torvik's numbers since Braden Huff went out, it would be Santa Clara -4 or so.
Wow.
They have kind of been their equal, and the offense has been outstanding. Now they got torched by Graham Ike in the first meeting, 34-11, super efficient. Probably has a big game here, even with Graves playing well and starting to catch some like NBA draft Twitter eyes because of his steal rates. People adore that guy. And honestly, Santa Clara has the best offense in the league. Surprisingly, it's not Gonzaga, it's not St. Mary's. But at 4.5, Matthew, I'm not totally interested either way. I liked the under. I wrote this for Action Network. Gonzaga playing a lot slower with Ike on the floor and no Huff, and they're much better defensively with Worley in the starting lineup. So I like the under 159.5, but not a best bet.
I lean towards Santa Clara here. I was just looking at our friends at CB Analytics. Their updated probability has them at 25% to get the 1 seed, which felt low. But I think that's obviously factoring in today's game in which they're a dog, and they both have to go to St. Mary's, Gonzaga, and Santa Clara. I'm going to stay away here, Kai. I almost took Santa Clara. I do think this is maybe the one spot where Gonzaga plays like kind of this dialed-in, angry Gonzaga team, and the Ike thing concerns me. But Other than that, I just, Gonzaga kind of like Purdue. I just don't feel like they're as terrifying right now. They're not really in prime form. And that's going to be a great home crowd, right? Like the prior games against Gonzaga has been like a crazy home atmosphere. So I think there's real home court value there in this spot.
Yeah, well, it's probably their biggest game in 30 years, something like that. Santa
Since
Clara,
Steve Nash was on campus, Kai.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because there's actually like at-large implications where they haven't really had those in. Yeah,
Santa Clara hasn't beaten anybody like at all. They have one top 50 Kimpom win. It's St. Mary's. I don't know. I just think I think you get a repeat of Graham Eke's dominance in this game. And the Zags have bounced back after Portland lost. They beat Washington State and Oregon State by a combined 50 points. It was an angry Zag squad coming out in those two games. I don't think you can turn Gonzaga over, and that's what Clara really feasts on. And really, I think Ek dominates despite Santa Clara's size, as you saw in Game 1. And I think Gonzaga's defense, too, the best in the league, stands up to the best offense in the league in Santa Clara. So I actually lean towards Gonzaga here, despite the big home atmosphere.
Matt, you briefly mentioned your boy Fogel High on the Friday show.
yep.
He's averaging like 25 minutes a game, 12 points a game since Huff went out. He's kind of been like the fill-in offensive connection piece for their high-low stuff with EK. So keep an eye on him, but I
Vogel
don't
and Grave, Alan Grave has been terrific for Santa Clara too. It's like two under the radar freshmen, like just adding to the insane freshman class we have this year.
Yeah. Oh, Graves is like I said, he's catching NBA scouts' eyes, and the transfer portal thread in the Discord is like gobbling up who's going to get Graves, how much is he getting paid this offseason. And he doesn't even start because Oboye is like a monster center as well. So I guess he's moved. No, hasn't. 3 straight game MVPs off the bench for Mr. Graves.
Ensminger is like such a great glue piece. They just have a lot of weapons. They're good. That's why they're
they're
dominating
big.
teams. They're big.
It's wild that they're
positionally long.
huge, positionally huge, and still got dominated by EK because EK is just really, really good. All right, next up, before we get to Chat Mob, Kentucky at Florida, the battle for the top of the SEC. If Florida loses, I guess Arkansas would be tied in the loss column as well at 2, or at 3, excuse me. But yeah, it's a little bit of a lopsided spread. Florida minus 13, Kai. They have been blitzing people, and they're still not really even making threes, but they're all the way up to 5th in Ken Pom. This team is a juggernaut in the paint, just brutalizes you. And I'm still not sold on Kentucky. So I'm going to keep going back to this where I think Florida kind of smashes them inside. But man, Kentucky swept Tennessee, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Maybe Mark Pope's just kind of figured out the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, Florida rocks. This spread just feels huge because Kentucky's just a cockroach. Besides that Vanderbilt game, they've come back in every single game, and they're right in the thick of things with the SEC title race. I don't understand it, but they are. I don't know how Kentucky scores in this game, Matt. That's where I'm going to start here. They don't have a ton of shooting, and the Gators defend the paint better than anybody in the SEC. Plus, they rarely foul. So they play without fouling, and they make it difficult for you to make shots. And Kentucky doesn't really force you into stuff on the perimeter on the other end. Obviously, guard play is Florida's one weakness. And I think the Gators have a big rebounding edge. Again, though, spread's too high. 13 and a half. I would lean towards Kentucky at that price. It's just too many points. But certainly will not be fading Florida, who I think is just awesome right now.
Yeah, I think you guys, it's just too high. Like, I think I like Florida a lot. If you wanted Florida at 10 and a half, great. I'm sure people got that at 13. No, I think Florida first half is a better bet. We talked about kind of the first half, second half thing with Kentucky, how awesome they've been in the second half, winning all these close games down the stretch, which kind of is sometimes just noisy, but Pope's talked about how he's like really found a good crunch time lineup that he likes to go to. So I think there's something real behind that. But again, it's too rich even at 7.5. Yeah, that's too high first half. I can't lay that.
Yeah, I just looking at like they're going to get crushed on the boards. Tennessee had 35 offensive rebounds combined in the 2 games. Like Florida's going to have 15 to 20. Chinyalu probably has 20 rebounds in 25 minutes again. I trust Florida to convert those opportunities into points better than Tennessee. I think Florida. I like Matt's angle. Take the first half. You don't have to worry about the patented Kentucky comeback as they play better lineups in the second half. Lean towards Florida first half there. Not much of a take on the total.
Kentucky is the 5th best team in college basketball, isolating second halves only. There you go.
Do you know who number 1 is, Matthew?
Michigan. Michigan
It's
won.
close to
BYU.
Michigan.
BYU's
How about
actually 2.
Oh, I thought it was BYU. Okay, because Michigan just
Yeah,
had the
BYU's
monster one
right.
against Northwestern. They might have
They're like one A, one
overtaken
B.
BYU.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
BYU has been a second half kind of
Yep.
sneaky juggernaut. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's go to our first chat mob break. But before I turn it over to my czar, Matthew, for questions, want to give a shout out to Basket Under Review, which we are a loyal part of. Trilly Donovan's basketball conglomerate. We've got a website with all kinds of write-ups, the weekend watch list, one of the best things we do over there. I wrote up a few games for that, including one of the ones we just talked about, Gonzaga Santa Clara. But you also get Will Warren, Trilly Donovan, Tuck Clary, Matthew Winnick, all writing up big games. I think Sam Fetterman is all over the MAC, as is still named today. So get your expertise there from the watch list. Get into the Discord. I mentioned the transfer portal thread that's already popping off. Coaching carousel is always going crazy. Trilly's starting to drop some names for portal entrance. We've got our daily gambling discussion where we kind of have this similar thing where if you got a question, you can always ask the weave. And there's other degenerates in there too that just want to talk ball all the time. So $10 a month, sign up for Basket Under Review. You get the site and the Discord. It is absolutely worth it. All right, Matthew, let's get some questions.
From the Zang gang, two, he asked, and he can ask as many as he wants. Kai, SFA versus the Red Hot Vaqueros. How about the Vaqueros laying a point against the Red Hot Jacks? I think it's about what it should be because I think UTRGV is awesome, but obviously it feels like a little bit of a home spot tax, I guess.
They've
I don't know.
won
Nothing for me.
They've won 8 in a row, including a game against McNeese. Yeah, they've been really impressive, but no chance I'm laying points against Stephen F. Austin, who I think is, I don't think it's an opinion, the best team in that league. Very, very impressive. I would lean towards Stephen F. Austin.
Jimmy, I agree with Zhang's angle here. Does St. Thomas go belt to ass against UMKC off the loss? I think yes. It's a big number, but I think yes, 13.5.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going like UMKC is weird. Mark Turgeon's going to high school games in Kansas City recruiting, but he's not actually the coach yet. It's very odd what's going on there. I also agree St. Thomas looked good to me. I was surprised to see the line go the other way. Like it's come down from the opener, which I was like, man, I thought people would ride St. Thomas there, but I'm with Mr. Zhang. Maybe he's going to go get in, get out on it. I think St. Thomas does come out furious, so I like that angle.
They led by 40 in game one, Matt. Just to let the people know. 40.
Yeah, no
That's a
Austin
theme of
Hero,
one of
Jim.
my
Isn't he your
extra gold best bets.
shouts
Who's
to Tyler Hero's little brother? Has been out the last 3. I don't know why has he been? He's been hurt. He's been pretty good for them. Austin Hero. He's from your neck of the woods, I believe, Jim.
Yeah. Whitnell High School for those
Good
keeping
program,
track.
of course. I'm getting Zhang two more. Kai, Clemson and UCLA. He likes first half in and out. Clemson playing.
We have Clemson on the
Clemson's
outline.
on
That's right on the outline. Let's talk
So is
UCLA.
Virginia, so don't ask the Virginia questions, man.
Yeah,
But
it's the best.
UCLA,
bet.
I see him.
Spoiler alert. 9.5 against Michigan. Does Cronin muck it up enough in the first 20?
I certainly lean that way. So UCLA has like Michigan, Illinois, Michigan State the next 3 games. Absolute gauntlet. I'm sure Cronin's bitching about it. I think UCLA is on the verge of going up. I don't know if Sky Clark is coming back. I hope he is. He's been like day to day.
Questionable on the report today. I think he plays a little bit.
If he plays, it's huge. I think UCLA can hang for a half. Yes. 16.5 for the full game too. I certainly lean their way, but yeah, Michigan's a scary team.
Yeah, we mentioned Michigan's awesome in the second half. That's why I lean towards first half. But hey, if Clark doesn't play, Trent Perry, A-star, also just got a nice feature on Basket Under Review if you want to check it out.
Jim, how about Colorado State from Luke Hansen versus Wyoming? Altitude battle today. Colorado State laying 4.5. It felt short to me, if I'm going to be honest. I know Wyoming still got some injury issues, which I need to refresh myself.
Yeah, a little short. Colorado State survived the Air Force fade as we typically do. I think they covered by like a point in that one. It came down to the final possession. But I don't have anything strong in that one, Matthew. Obviously, no elevation advantage because Wyoming's also there. I stayed away in that game.
Kai, Cal versus BC. Tasty one. I guess one team actually has tournament aspirations here, so it's not entirely. BC plus 3.5 at home. Some Cal money pushed this up from 2.5.
It feels pretty short to me. Now BC, Matt, to your credit, they've been a lot more feisty recently.
Yeah,
they've actually been playing close games with like even some pretty good teams like Miami, Virginia, Stanford. They played them all close. This travel, of course, is insane. Like going from Cal to Boston.
Well, they're coming from Syracuse. They're coming from Syracuse.
Okay, that helps. I would lean towards Cal. The Syracuse loss hurts. Double overtime, 3 days rest. I don't know. I lean towards Cal still, though.
Speaking of kind of a tight turnaround spot, spot eye candy, I guess. Jim, Memphis, Utah State. Memphis going to altitude. Um, I know we say Utah State struggles with athletes at times, but I think this could get ugly quickly. Big number though. What's the updated price? Let me check.
It's
Any thoughts?
13 and a half. I'm sorry. Like Penny Hardaway getting double digits. Usually Memphis is up for it. They'll battle. They've got the athleticism edge. It's just a weird spot. Like going out of league play, Memphis still has South Florida twice, the leader in the conference. Like I think they'll maybe dial for those, but this game, yeah, elevation, non-con, travel to the mountains. This feels stay away where I like Memphis as a dog, but not in this spot.
Utah State minus 13, best bet for Kai.
Oh, I like it.
Hey,
Way better
I
coach.
love it.
Tight turnaround after North Texas on Thursday at North Texas. The zone is going to absolutely confound Memphis. Turnovers, glass battle. It's all Utah State.
Yeah,
Minus
this
13.
is a zone game. I know Calhoun kind of goes
I like
back and
it.
forth. This is a zone game for sure. St. John's against Providence, and then Texas A&M at Vanderbilt. Asks Harry and the fellows, Jim. Any take on either of those two? I kind of think Providence is going to keep it weirdly close, but if they don't,
They
I feel like
might.
it could veer into like a 30-point like bag overhead K-State type thing too. So I don't know, torn.
I think you get super focused St. John's here. They blew it at Madison Square Garden against Providence last time. They just got their pants scared off them by Little Patino on Monday, and they've had time off. There's the road revenge angle where they lost at home, and now they're the better team going on the road. I kind of lean St. John's there. I know Providence has been solid, but they had illness, so they blew it in the second half against Seton Hall. I'm guessing Jameer Jones is back. They need him. Athleticism against that St. John's front line. I still kind of lean towards St. John's. Oh, and Vandy versus Texas A&M. Texas
Yep.
A&M isn't forcing turnovers anymore. That defense sucks if they're not getting steals. They're like 320th in forcing turnovers the last 3 weeks. That's a problem. Kai, did you see the box score I posted of the Mizzou game?
Hmm.
Mizzou's average 2 point attempt distance was
Oh,
3
yes.
feet.
Yeah.
99th percentile, and they took 44 of them.
Yeah.
I could see Vandy crushing.
I think it's belt to butt.
Yeah.
Lean towards Vandy.
Yep.
Really, I don't know. Vandy without their backcourt's still banged up, man. I just don't think they have that.
Tyler Tanner's all you need.
A&M
I
is
know.
not shooting like they hit everything against Mizzou and still lost. Like this team, they're better than I thought.
Yeah,
they
I mean,
would,
I
but
think it's
I don't think they are elite.
it's the same double-edged sword we talked about. It's like, can you really hold up with a super pressure-focused system and a conference with like pro-level ball handlers? I think in some matchups you can. I think it caught people off guard, but other matchups it's going to start to catch up to you. Where am I? From Jets Peak, Kai, does Grand Canyon get back on track? This effing team has befuddled me all season. Minus 12 against the Fighting Timmy Miles, who
They healthy?
are
Yeah, you always check the lineup with San Jose State.
Washington is questionable again. God, it's so annoying with this team.
It seems like a really
Did not
big
play
spread.
last game.
It
Did
seems
not
like a
play
really
last
big
game.
spread for the road for Grand Canyon. So I lean towards San Jose State. I generally do not bet San Jose State games though, so I'm not the best person to ask there.
What if I told you they are
Yes.
against the number?
Okay.
12 and 11.
Uh,
God, he's always above 500 against the spread too. Miles is a genius.
Yeah, I would love
mean,
to see it
geez,
against the
obviously.
opening number because the closing number is always like 5 points more because they're injuries. It just
Yeah,
closes
exactly.
crazy.
All right, let's go to the Grant Gibbs fan club asking about Ohio State, Virginia. Oh, it's on the outline. That's right. He's going to replace his question with San Diego State versus Nevada, which I like the Tex. Minus 8's a big number, though, against kind of a feisty Nevada team.
Yeah, you're supposed to get
Jim,
Guath
sorry.
back. I'll take it.
Go ahead.
It was like if he gets through practice, which he should, he's going to play. I kind of like him. Just the way they're playing now. They already won at Nevada, so potential road revenge. And are they like, does Nevada hang around? It was close in that game, but God, that San Diego State defense looks like what we expected it to look like. It is impossible to score. They got depth, athleticism, physicality. I think Nevada has a little bit of trouble there. Lean towards the Aztecs.
Kai from Rich, 2, and we'll go back to the outline. TCU, Oklahoma State.
Huh. Yeah.
Let's start with that one. That's I guess, kind of an obvious spot if you're into that kind of thing. TCU off their huge win. Oklahoma State laying not a pick at home.
Yeah, it kind of surprises me actually. I lean towards Oklahoma State. Game 1 was really close at TCU. Oklahoma State led by like 9 points in the second half. I lean towards Oklahoma State. TCU is very difficult to get a pulse on.
Yeah, here's what I wrote to start the watch list. Nothing about TCU makes sense except that the Horned Frogs don't make sense. Thus, losing in Stillwater to give Oklahoma State bubble life after TCU got a massive home win themselves is the only logical conclusion. So that was my
Very good,
quick
Jim.
summary.
How about Marquette Xavier? Shaka, little bite. I think
Yeah.
they've covered 5 in a
Got a
row.
lot better.
They got a lot better, which I think we expected. They had kind of had some bad luck, and this team is not like a gonna roll over team. I don't think so.
Yeah, and they fully turned it over to Nigel James. I kind of
And
like
he's
that.
awesome. Yep, I agree. Kind of a reinvigorating button push.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I like them
Not
here.
that Xavier's, yeah, not that Xavier's going to roll over, but they just had that like massive OT effort against St. John's. I don't know. Do they bring the same heat to the Cintas Center today? I don't know. Debatable. I
Yeah,
like Marquette.
they folded against Seton Hall the game after that first St. John's collapse at home. So yeah, I think that could be a psychological thing, if that matters, which it probably doesn't. All right, back to the outline.
Okay, we get all the way to this portion of the show without talking Texas Tech, Arizona, a big one out west in Tucson. Arizona trying to bounce back from their big Monday loss. Man, it is a testament, Kai, to how I feel about Arizona that despite my adoration of Texas Tech, I'm not going to take almost 10 points in this game.
Yeah.
It kind of feels right-ish with Arizona's interior dominance. Now, there's no Dwayne Aristode, so they're down to like a true 7, and he's one of their only shooters. But I don't know if it matters. Like, it really depends if Bamgoy can hold up. He played 17 minutes against Colorado. He's probably got to play 15 to 20 here and not get in crazy foul trouble. Otherwise, it's just JT Toppin against that entire front line. I think Texas Tech can hang around, but I'm too scared to bet it.
Yeah, another super big spread. Bamgoy slowly ticking back up, getting back in the swing of things. So the depth is improving for Texas Tech. Man, anytime you can give me McCaslin as basically a double-digit dog, that has me barking, Matthew. They've lost one game all year by more than 10. That was the embarrassment to Purdue back in November. They're shooting lights out, and I think that's for real. They have really, really good shooters. And Arizona, they're bound to regress a little bit, giving up threes. Opponents are shooting sub 30% against them in Big 12 play. Now, Toppin's going to have a lot of bodies thrown at him. And if he gets in foul trouble, it's big problems. And with how aggressive Arizona is attacking the rim, that could happen. But again, Grant McCaslin, 9.5, almost 10 points. I definitely lean towards the Raiders.
I do too. My numbies made it 11.5, and I was like, that felt high. So I stayed away here. You guys brought up the good points. Arizona just needs to, like, if they just avoid the one game where they don't shoot, poorly, but they're just so good inside. Like, it doesn't.
They don't
hasn't
shoot.
really-
It doesn't matter if they shoot
Right.
points. They don't take threes.
Exactly. Nothing here for me, Jim. The depth thing I think has been kind of tightened up for Texas Tech, and again against Arizona, who's not super deep either. I think that sort of is working in their favor. So I like Tech, but nothing official.
Yeah, the one other small thing is like, remember how much Toppin struggled against Badunga? Like, he had a bad game against Kansas. 5 of 15 from 2, 5 of 18 from the field. And I think Krivas is like close to that level defender. He's not as bouncy, but he's huge and he's way more mobile than I probably even realized. Like, he can send some shots back if Toppin's not careful with those lefty hooks. So as much as I want the 9.5, there's enough that's scaring
He's
me
got
away
some
to keep me
nasty to
off
him.
it.
He's got some nasty for sure.
Yep. All right, let's go to Nashville, Virginia, and Ohio State. I believe this was Grant Gibbs' question. Definitely a big one today. Ohio State trying to get the actual first Q1 win on their resume, Kai. Currently a big old donut in that category. But Virginia has not actually been playing very well. I don't know if they're bored with the dregs of the ACC, but their scheme sets up for a big Bruce Thornton game. And they're playing some drop coverage, let him get into the mid-range stuff. But only -4, Kai, for a team I like versus a team that I don't really like. I lean towards the Cavs.
Second best bet of the day shall be Virginia. Two best bets. It's worked 0 times in the past.
But
Virginia,
it might just work for us.
But it might just work for us. Virginia -4 best bet. Yeah, I think the Who's kind of smoke them, man. Better team, better coach, massive rebounding edge. And yeah, I think maybe they're a little bored with the dregs. I'm excited to see them against a different conference for the first time in a while, Matthew. Give me the Who's -4.
Yep, I got some earlier, and I just saw 4 pop up at Circa, so I'm gonna bet
That's
that
Circa. Yep.
currently.
Get that bet.
1 second.
Matt betting
Yes,
live.
best
Okay,
bets.
you're looking live,
$1,000.
folks.
-4. Caesar with a -4 as well out there. That's gonna be all that's at the 100,000 accepted. Went right through. Thank you, Circa. Yeah, no, best bet for me. Just to keep it simple for me. I know they've kind of struggled, Jim, but the last three have been better. I know they had that real tough route where they almost lost to BC, but the last three have been a little bit better. I think Jakari White's got to get fully healthy. He's just such a game changer with his ability to shoot. I know he was playing with like a cast, kind of was disrupting their offense a little bit, but I think they win today. Ohio State's not any good. Their wins are just so like
They
tainted
don't have
by,
a
I
Q1
think,
win.
when they play team. Yeah, their 8-6 Big Ten record is the biggest farce I've seen in a while. So.
Yeah, question about the total. I also lean the under. I think that Virginia defense, other than Thornton's mid-range game, generally takes away what Ohio State wants to do. I don't think Mobley has a good game. I don't think Tilly has a good game at all in this one. And then it's kind of going to be slower. Like both teams definitely playing slower and not in league play. I think that translates over to the neutral site, bigger arena. I hope that doesn't lead to like ping pong pace where they're not as stressed about the game. But it's kind of like a simulation for postseason, and so I think both teams take it pretty darn seriously. So I like the under as well. The other big neutral site game today is in Fort Worth, where Baylor, who is all but dead for postseason hopes right now, or for NCAA tournament hopes, takes on Louisville, who is trending up. They had their dominant performance against NC State, where Mikel Brown Jr. and Ryan Conwell basically outscored NC State by themselves. Matthew, they kept him in late. They were firing up jumpers. Does that offense continue to tear up another bad defense here in Baylor? Louisville laying 7 in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I guess you give it point and a half or something to home. I'm not sure if or anything, maybe zero. But you got probably something. I just think Baylor's been playing better-ish, and it kind of like made me not jump all over Louisville here, which was my instinct, Kai, given the Browns sort of resurgence and the fact that Louisville against teams that don't have like very clear physicality, they tend to sort of control those games pretty easily. But I stayed away. Like 5.5, 5 would have been a better price. 6.5, I'm just like, no.
I do not like Louisville laying 7 in Fort Worth. No, thank you. They're better than the Bears, but the Bears, to your point, Matthew, have been playing better lately. They hung with BYU, they hung with Iowa State, crushed Colorado, beat West Virginia by 10 on the road. And Louisville off that massive explosion, 118 points, 18 for 30 from 3. It's not happening again. I think Baylor has plenty of perimeter length and size to get out on those shooters. I do worry about Baylor's transition defense this year. It has not been great per synergy, below average. Not great. But a heavy Baylor lean at +7 in Fort Worth.
Yeah, numbers just seem tad high. I mean, Louisville, like when they're not erupting at home, they look pedestrian, man. Even sometimes with Brown out there, like away from home, their fan base like doesn't love this team. Their guards are a little finessey, want to get jumpers. They just don't have a lot of physicality, a lot of grit, meanness to them. And I don't know that Baylor's going to take a lot of advantage of that. That's not really the Bears, but offensive glass, Baylor does get after it there. Perhaps they give Louisville some problems. So a lean to Baylor, but nothing strong at all for me. Where I am going to make a best bet is in the last game on the outline. Maddie, your Duke Blue Devils are laying 13 against Clemson off a loss. I love this Clemson team on the road because they totally take away transition. They are awesome on the defensive glass. I know Ngungba is probably going to be back for this game. I think he is like literally probable on the report. But Clemson can battle inside. I think they can throw bodies at Boozer and at least make things difficult for him. I assume he'll put up his 25, but it will be a challenging 25. Get a little more Ace Buckner. He's been trending up for the Tigers. 13 is too many points for me. I think Clemson hangs on the road at Cameron Indoor. Matthew, what do you say?
Clemson 6-1 as an away team against the spread this year, and they are 3-0 against the spread against ranked opponents. Yeah, they just play up well. Like that's sort of been the DNA, and even with a team that's playing a little more youth than I think we're used to seeing under Brad, but no, it's still kind of constructed the same way. They play inside out. Their guards have been solid enough. I'm with you. I think it's just too many. Duke's good. I just don't think they're going to blow Clemson away by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree. And to Russell's point in the chat, Big Pat, I think he's going to be at least not 100% healthy, even if he plays. And I think
he's not on the report. Just saying.
Deal. Yeah, I appreciate how good Duke
report.
is, but to echo what you guys said, it's tough to blow Clemson out. Really, really tough. They played Alabama close. They played BYU close. NC State overtime. And all those teams can really score. So they can hang with teams that can score. And obviously stopping Boozer is going to be a problem. Davidson and Welling, I don't get great thoughts around them, but they are the best defense in the ACC. And they do have the best, I think, 2-point percentage defense in the ACC. I think they can pressure. They can compete on the glass at least a little bit. And I think Brownell, Jim, he knows how to take the air out of the ball, and like you guys said, play up to competition. So Clemson plus 13 is a strong lean for me.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. Clemson went to Duke and had that like near win at Cameron Indoors, a 1 point loss. And like obviously that's a better team. It's PJ Hall team that went to like Elite Eight. But I think it gives them similar problems. They take away transition entirely. It's such a Brownell staple. And if you got to just like out execute them to win by 2 touchdowns, that's a bridge too far for me. So definitely taking Clemson plus 13 as my second best bet given out here on the show. All right, Matthew, we're going back to Chat Mob Part 2. Remember, folks, if you have not, make sure to sign up for Basket Under Review. The link should be in the video. Kai, yes, I believe.
Yes. And the Discord.
Perfect. Good. Yes, Discord. There's just all kinds of tools. Whatever you want out of your college basketball viewing experience, if you want to chat with people, if you want really detailed write-ups, if you want some videos, Basket Under Review is providing it. So make sure to pump up that $10 a month. Get in there before March Madness and before portal season really kicks in. So make sure to lock it in. All right, Matthew, questions. Let's do it.
Man, I just going through the ACC report just got posted a half hour. There's a ton of injuries, like a few like surprises. So make sure to check that, folks. Like Pitt, UNC,
Caleb Wilson's out. What?
which we knew. I don't think I knew that DeMarco Minor was questionable. He's pretty important. And then Corin is probable, so I didn't know he's banged up. Anyway, let's talk games that were actually asked in the outline. We'll talk one SEC or ACC, one Kai. How about SMU versus Syracuse? Line is 2.5. No injuries here in this one, actually. So I have no take on this game, but what's your thoughts on this matchup at Syracuse -3? The ponies are laying on the road.
I do agree with the guy in the chat that said it feels short. Zhang. Zhang. Yes, I think it feels a little short. Syracuse off that 2 overtime win against Cal. SMU, they're fighting for the tournament live still. They're not a lock for the tournament. This will go a long way, get another road win. So lean towards SMU here.
Same.
How about Central Arkansas? Do they keep it rolling, Jim? -11.5. All they do is win and cover. Mr. Schulman knows what he's doing. Thoughts? West Georgia's a good dog, though. That's my only concern.
Old Cammy Hunter. Yeah, they can muck the game a little bit, but their transition defense is not very good. They have a short defensive possession length. I think that means Central Arkansas can get out and run, get what they want there. They're actually playing well. They're coming off 2 wins, but I can't believe how good Central Arkansas is. Even without, like, coming into the year, I thought Rashad Bolden, the like 25 a game D2 transfer, would be their like second banana. He's played 2 games. Doesn't matter at all. Like I just can't fully wrap my head around how good Central Arkansas is, so I'm not going to get in the way.
Oh, I missed another ACC one, which I think is of high interest today, Kai. Miami against NC State. True Washington expected to return. Been bet down to 5.5. NC State laying 5.5 at home against the Canes. Your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty big lean to NC State here. Miami off the
Ooh,
UNC.
really?
Yeah.
Spot crowd.
Yeah, it's a big spot game. NC State off the loss to Louisville. Miami off the win. I think NC State's a lot better team. Yeah, give me the Wolfpack 5.5.
Big agree. Big agree.
Jim, Big Sky. Northern Colorado, the team we thought would be the best team in this league, which has struggled but played better, -3.5 against Portland State, who I believe is injured. I need to double check on that, but that got to like 4 or 5. I might like Porty State there on the road.
Matt, you're telling me the team that's under 500 in the league is a 3.5-point home favorite against the league leader? This fishy line, Matthew.
What do they know that we don't know? What do they know?
What do they know? I do actually think Northern Colorado stands up there. They're playing to the level recently that we thought they would. They've won 5 in a row. I think that's, kind of the expectation. Denker's fully back in, reintegrated. The games he missed, that was a problem for them. But, God, he is unbelievable. I guess he's been back for like 2 months. But I think they've got the firepower to withstand the physicality advantage that Portland State has. I would go Northern Colorado.
I just don't see why people don't go play for Smiley. Like, all he does is turn like guard creator, shot makers into just superstars. Like Quinn Decker is just a beast.
22 and 16 assists last game.
Just like what? All right, Kai, Georgia versus Oklahoma.
Yawn.
What?
Yawn.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yawn.
Can't believe you took money, but Georgia's banged up though. They're missing. Who's out today for Georgia? Let me confirm.
They have someone?
Is Wilkinson back?
Wilkinson's out, confirmed. That's tough.
Okay.
They are deep, but that's tough.
They're really deep. It's man, Georgia's really fallen down. I think I was talking to Stuckey yesterday. He said his hot take is Georgia's not going to make the tournament. I kind of lean that way. They're falling fast. OU's a tough team to gauge. They're off the Vanderbilt win somehow after losing 9 straight in the SEC. Ordinarily, I lean towards Georgia if there is no injuries. Staying away since Wilkinson appears to be out.
Jim, do we have a take on? Wait, no, these teams aren't playing today, are they? Yeah, they are. Villanova, Creighton, yeah, they're playing today. Man, I really glossed over some Big East action today. I have no take here. I think Creighton's bad. Villanova's good, but Nova -3 on the road. Nothing for
Yeah,
me.
lane three. I just wonder if there's a little quit factor with Creighton. I don't know. They've fought in their games. It's not like they've rolled over and died, except for that UConn game where that was just a better team came in and punked them. But they don't have like the athleticism, the physicality that I mean. Normally Creighton teams don't have that, but they also don't have the offensive pop. Villanova can out execute them. It won't be a pretty laying three on the road. Like I don't think they're gonna win by 20, but it would be like, all right, they're up two, they're up one, they're up five, they're up four, and then like make a couple free throws late to cover. This would be a stay away from me.
Kai, how about the Brawl of the Wild, baby? Montana versus Montana State.
It's a cool
The
name.
Grizz are looking for revenge. Vibes are bad right now in Missoula. I feel like the locals don't like this team. And Montana State, I think it's just kind of almost looks better. But I don't know. Montana is like the team that we always know has like the highest ceiling. Do they play like it today? Who knows? I like the Grizz. That's where I landed.
You have more opinion than I do. Montana State kind
Okay.
of dominated game one.
They did.
I got no
Totally.
opinion. Yeah,
I think you're on that game actually. I
I'm
was on that game too.
pretty sure I was.
Lose.
Money Williams can only do
Lose.
so much, unfortunately. He's a
I know, I
star,
thought
but
they had
their
other
supporting
guys, but-
cast is-
Jim, how about Wilmington, who shoved it up my bum when I backed Charleston? They're at home at Trask against Hofstra, who is now healthy and more back to the level they were playing before they had some injuries. I think it's a line's about right, -3.
Yeah, I saw some 2.5 earlier, and I think that's what a few guys
Oh,
in
it's
our
mostly 2.5. Sorry, it's
basket
2.5.
under review best bets took. And yeah, Wilmington hasn't lost to anybody in this league besides William and Mary, and Hofstra doesn't bring the same kind of issues, transition attack, spread you out quite as much that William and Mary can do. I think Wessler has a massive game. Hofstra's front line is not, Sunday is big but not overly mobile. Maybe he competes in there, but Trask, I kind of lean towards UNC Wilmington. Three's the
I
right
like
number though.
I like the under. It's been bet under, but I think this is a kind of low game. Bunch of or extra questions, which I have frankly very little opinions on. Does Navy keep it rolling at Colgate? We talked about how Navy's been a sneaky
12
good
and 1
team
in the
this year.
Patriot. Yeah, how about that?
Any
Yep.
thoughts on that one? Kai, Jackson State, Florida A&M. I may have
I
a
was
take
just
on.
looking at Aiden Cahoe for Navy. Have you ever seen him? He's enormous.
Yeah.
Really stands out. Having an insane season this year. He's averaging like 16 and 10. He absolutely just dominates the Patriot League because no one can handle him. Leads the country in field goal percentage. It's just like insane. Yeah, man. I don't see why not. Why don't they keep rolling? This team is so good because they brought every single person back from last year. Essentially, number one in the country in continuity. On the road, obviously at Colgate, but I still kind of lean their way. I'm fully in on Navy.
It's weird that this Colgate team drives me up a wall watching them. Like they have some possessions where you're like, why is that your plan? And Navy doesn't really have those right now. So I think it's Navy.
Oh, good one from the chat. Great question. How about this? Utah Tech 0-2 already in conference against Cal Baptist. Both games were in Riverside. Now they get them at home off 5 straight wins, including a big win against Utah Valley. I kind of like the fighting Utah Techies, Jim. I know you're a fan of Johnny Judkins' Trailblazers.
Yeah, we got a perfect. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. We get that before the conference tournaments. That's fun
We'll
that the
test
WAC
it.
has the triple
Yeah.
round robin. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dom Daniels has a massive game per usual, but Utah Tech's like really good playing up. They're early in the season. I thought maybe they had a chance to compete. I'm shocked that they are like tied for second, and this is basically for the league crown right now. I lean towards Utah Tech, even off the massive rivalry win that probably had some emotional aspect to it.
I agree. I think the difference today is Dario Domingos, who is like, go look at his stat line. He comes in for 10 minutes, he fouls 5 times, and he just dominates when he's in. Fun player.
36% usage playing 10 minutes a game. That's awesome.
Like literally, his points per minute stats are like just hilariously good. Kai, High Point Gardner. Oh, let's go Tulsa, Wichita from the Zang gang. I agree. I kind of like Tulsa on this one, which I'm sort of out of Wichita at this point. It's a bad matchup. Tulsa railroaded them late in the first one. Just too much foot speed on the perimeter. I like the Golden Hurricane singular at the Roundhouse, Kai.
Defer to you.
Okay.
I lean your way.
I
Matt, give
think
me High
that's it
Point.
from chat. My High Point, Gardner Webb, Jim, take it.
Yeah,
I have no
best
take.
bet -25 High Point.
Okay.
I laid it on the road with them against USC Upstate, and they won by 30.
Gardner Webb's so
They won
bad.
this first matchup by 55.
Yeah.
Like just an absolute demolition. I think they got up like 30 immediately. It was like 28-2 or something. Gardner Webb has had like a couple
Whoa, they are
mildly
Third
competent
worst team in
efforts.
the country. Third
Yeah,
worst.
they're really terrible. They had like a mildly competent effort against Radford. They were kind of okay against Winthrop, but after the competent effort against Radford, they lost by 25 at home to Presbyterian. I think they could lose by 1,000 here. And High Point is so good at these like Q5 type matchups. They blow teams out. So High Point -25 is the third best bet.
37. Must be 37.
Kai, let's
To
talk Yale
Presbyterian,
Harvard.
is that what it was? Jesus,
Yeah.
my God.
Let's talk Yale Harvard. I like Yale in the revenge spot here.
As do I.
-5 on the road. I
Road
think
revenge,
Harvard's
baby.
talented.
Feels a little high. Harvard playing well.
I mean, Harvard's good. Like
But-
they're a good team, no question.
I lean,
But I think
Yale as
Yale's.
well. Yeah.
I got too much on Yale conference futures at like -110. How are they not running away with this league? What are you doing?
This is the back-to-back spot, which I think kind of matters because they stopped doing it. So like when you then do it, it sort of maybe catches the road team who has to make that travel a little
That
by
scares me
surprise,
a
but
little.
a little bit. But last one, and we'll wrap it up, I guess. UC Irvine, UC San Diego from Lichis in the chat. That goddamn anteaters are bothering me. I don't trust either team here, but I'd rather watch this game last year.
It's those teams don't play, I don't think.
They do not.
Oh, they don't play. Sorry,
Irvine's hosting Fullerton.
Irvine's hosting Fullerton.
San
I
Diego's
still lean
hosts
Irvine.
Riverside.
And Riverside's terrible, but UC San Diego's not been great either. I don't know. I got nothing to do with those two. Anything for you guys?
Irvine should completely dominate the paint. Like
Yeah.
it should be like 50-20 in paint points. But I can't really trust them right now. Cal Poly
did
should
the
be
right thing. They
smashing their
just spread
team.
them out, and they made Irvine go small. Maybe
Yeah,
Fullerton
I just
do
don't
the
think
same
Fully
thing.
can do that. Like they're not as
effectively.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I lean towards Irvine, but I'm kind of exasperated with them also.
That's it. Should we recap best bets?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's hit best bets. I have given 3. I'm going to give my 2 more that are also in the Basket Under Review quintet. Iowa +2, Clemson +13, High Point -25. Got to hit all those. Samford +6.5 at ETSU. I love how Acuff's team is playing now that they're a little healthier. I thought preseason that they would be in this fight for the conference title, and they're not, but they are playing well enough to do so recently. I think they can go into Johnson City and keep that close or potentially even win outright. So +6.5. And then, of course, I've got to run back the Mercyhurst under. It's been something I've been hitting quite a bit this year. They are slow. There is pretty much all 138 out there. You can actually get a 138.5, but I'll lock it in at 138, Mercyhurst and St. Francis under. So those are my 5. Kai, over to you.
2-pack Virginia -4 against Ohio State, and Utah State -13 hosting Memphis. Matthew.
Wait, where's my? Sorry, my tab just.
I don't know where your list is. I
Okay,
don't know.
got it. Sorry, I think I mentioned Virginia as one. Correct, I did. I have your Missouri Tigers as the best bet as well for me today. Trent
Yeah,
Pierce,
which-
good player.
Good player.
Just when you think they're good, that's when they play
Stop
like
it. I know. I'm
doo-doo.
0-4 on Mizzou, so probably I'm going to jinx you guys.
I'm like
again.
0-20,
God,
so don't worry.
Okay. I got FIU -3 hosting Louisiana Tech. They've been really good in like this early start tip on Saturday where the team has to travel from out of state to get there. It's actually the second time all year the CUSA has done this. They've sort of changed the schedule to remove it, but I think that's a good spot for them. South Alabama as a dog against Arkansas State. First game was a shootout. I think this game's also close. It also a shootout. Richie Riley as a dog is just a good investment. Colorado at BYU. Colorado +16. Talked about how BYU's been a good second half team all year, but I don't think they're going to like railroad Colorado because they're kind of in a rut right now. They don't really have depth. And Colorado plays at altitude, so I don't think it's going to like totally scare them off that terrible effort at Texas Tech. And then Virginia was my final one. That's all I got.
Lovely. There we go. I'm just answering the FSU VodTech question in the chat right now. That's it. That's all we got today. Enjoy the 130 plus games. Maybe I'll even be seeing 1 or 2 of these gentlemen at a bar establishment for a beer
That'd
or
be
something to
great.
talk ball.
I see.
I've got to write a little for the Athletic today, though, so I won't be able to be out and about too much. Yeah, go Tigers. Let's get in the tournament. That'd be great. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to the donors in the chat. Grant Gibbs, Mike Zhang, we love you. We heart you. That's all we got. We'll be back on Friday with our podcast. Back
Thursday.
No, pod is on Thursday next week. No best bet show next Saturday because the boys are on a bachelor party. So unfortunately, all of us will be out of pocket, but we'll answer any questions or as many as we can in the Discord. So sign up if you want to get some input next Saturday.